Okay, good day, beautiful people. Good day, beautiful people. In this module, we're going to show you if you have other cryptocurrency assets, particularly if they're assets that are not on the Solana network. Now, you may hear me say blockchain, may hear me say network. I'm saying the same thing. Okay. So, for instance, if you've got some tokens that are on the Solana network, and some examples, Jupiter is a token that's on the Solana network. Another meme coin project that's into I think they're into the billions in terms of market cap. Pudgy Penguins is on the Solana network. All right. Anything in the Solana network can be swapped inside of your Phantom wallet. Now, by the way, you may hear me say the word swap. You may hear me say the word exchange. You may hear me say the word convert. I'm saying the same thing, where basically you've got a cryptocurrency asset and you want to swap it, you want to convert it, you want to exchange it for another cryptocurrency asset. Okay. All right. Now, the purpose of this module is, let's say you have a cryptocurrency asset that is not on the Solana network. Maybe you've got Bitcoin. Maybe you have Ethereum. Um, I'm going to show you. I've got an asset called DAI. Some people call it DAI, DAI, but I don't like saying the word DAI, so I'm going to call it DAI. Okay. All right. So I've got some DAI. I want to swap my DAI for Solana so that once I have the Solana, I can ultimately swap that for Sosana. All right, you ready to go to work? Real quickly. All right. So now let me bring up a couple of options for you to swap. For those of you that have an Exodus wallet. So if you've got your cryptocurrency assets in an Exodus wallet, you can swap right there from your Exodus wallet. I will tell you that Exodus will tend to have higher limits where they will require you to swap a certain amount of an asset. Okay. Also, Exodus can be a little pricier when it comes to fees. I prefer to use changenow.io. That is my favorite swap platform. It's the quickest swap platform that I've used. Exodus can be quick, but Exodus can be a little more fee intensive. ChangeNow.io and then SimpleSwap.io. Sometimes I get the best pricing from SimpleSwap. It's just that SimpleSwap is a little bit slower. I did a swap not long ago, and I just wanted to test the speeds. When I did it with ChangeNow.io, it took less than 10 minutes. When I did it with SimpleSwap.io, it took about 25-ish minutes. Okay. So particularly if you are newer and you've never swapped before and you're kind of anxious, how does this work? You might want to go with ChangeNow.io. I'm going to show the asset that I would be receiving back, how much I would receive uh, between Change Now and Simple Swap. And if it's anywhere close, I'm going to use changenow.io. Okay, so now let's go to changenow.io. Let me open up my MetaMask wallet because I've got my DAI tokens here in MetaMask. So give me just a moment. I'm going to unlock that right there. Okay. All right. So you can see here, I've got what's called stable coin, which is basically tied to the US dollar. I've got 129.30679. Okay. So I'm going to swap 129.30. All right. So let's go, and I'm going to search for DAI, DAI. Now, this is very important. Okay. You notice how there are multiple days here? Multiple days. That's because a lot of these assets trade on various blockchains or various networks. I'm saying the same thing. Okay. So I want to make sure I'm using the proper day. Now I've got day on the Binance Smart Chain. Okay. uh, or the BNB smart chain. BNB is the token symbol for Binance. Okay, so I want to make sure I'm swapping the right one. All right, day stablecoin. All right, on the Binance Smart Chain. All right, so I'm going to do 129.30 of it. So let's go here. Let's go back here. We've got day. Let's choose day on the Binance Smart Chain. Left click. Okay, so now I have put my day in 129.30. Okay, and again, I had 129.30679. So I'm going to do the 129.30. Okay. Now I want to swap that. I want to convert that. I want to exchange that for Solana. So I'm going to left click here. I'm going to select Solana, SOL. Okay, now, very important, especially if you're a newbie, okay? Because you're going to see, and this can be confusing, I get it earlier on, you're going to see, well, isn't this Solana, and isn't this Solana, and isn't this Solana? No, you want to swap for Solana, SOL. See, what this is an asset, USDT, that's on the Solana network. What this is an asset, USDC, on the Solana network. Uh, what this PYUSD, that PayPal there is on the Solana network. Okay. We actually want to swap for the native token on the Solana network, which is Solana or Sol, SOL. Okay. So I want to make sure you're choosing the right one. All right. Left click. Okay. All right. So now this is going to tell me how much Solana I'm going to receive. Okay. Now this is on changenow.io. Let me also go over to SimpleSwap and see if there's any major difference in what I would receive there. Okay. So I'm at simpleswap.io and I'm going to search for day once again on the Binance Smart Chain. All right, Binance Smart Chain. Okay. And I'm going to do, what was it? I think it was 129.30. Yeah, 129.30. Okay. So 129.30 worth of day. Day, by the way, is a stable coin linked to the US dollar, but it's in a decentralized format. Okay. So there's day. And let's put in, we want Solana for it. All right. SOL on the Solana network. Okay. That's what we want. This right here is SOL, but it's on the Binance smart chain. This right here is SOL, but it's on Ethereum. We want SOL on SOL. Okay. All right. So again, if it's close, and that looks close, 0.699. Solana over here was 0.68 Solana. And that may seem like a lot. And it is a few, it's probably a few cents, but I just like changenow.io. It's much, much, much quicker. If you've got a little bit more patience, all right, then feel free to use a simple swap. Okay. I'm going to use changenow.io. Okay. And I'm now going to exchange the day for the Solana. All right. I'm going to click where it says exchange. All right. So it's already bringing that 129.30. It already has my Solana there. Now it's going to ask me for my recipient wallet. This is where the Solana is going to be sent to. where the Solana is going to be sent to. So I'm going to go to my Phantom wallet. Give me a moment. Log in. So you can do this if you had Bitcoin. You could do this if you had Ethereum. You could do this if you had Tron. Other assets that are not Solana based. If it's Solana based, you can do it right in Phantom. But Day is not Solana based. All right. So click unlock. All right. So I've got just a tad bit of Solana in this particular account, about 93 cents worth, so not a whole lot, right? And but the system is saying, okay, what is your receive address? All right. Now, what I always like to do when I come in here is I like to just click on Solana, okay, and then click on my receive address. All right. So I don't mess it up. All right. I don't mistakenly put a different address. All right. So here's going to be my receive address right here. I'm just going to copy it. And then I'm going to paste it. Okay. Now, what I always like to do is just check, make sure that it's the right address. Even though I just did a copy and paste there. All right. EKEC are the first four letters and numbers there. Okay, cool. All right. And then at the end, let me go back to Solana. Okay. At the end, I've got this 58NI. Now be careful that you don't mess up any letters there, okay? 58NI. Okay, so I've got the right address. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to have to deposit some day, 129.30 worth, and they're going to do the exchange, and then the Sol or the Solana is going to be sent to this particular address. Okay. Now I'm going to click where it says exchange. And now it's going to tell me, all right, what address I need to send this amount of day to. Because I told it I have 129.3 day. I want to send that. I want to swap that. And this is the address they're telling me to send the day to. Now, I want you to notice that they give me an hour here. Okay. So if you're doing this from Coinbase, that may not work. Coinbase can be very, very slow. Okay. In sending out funds. So I wouldn't do this from Coinbase. If you, let's say, for instance, you had Bitcoin sitting in Coinbase, you might want to send your Bitcoin to another wallet. As a matter of fact, you could actually send your Bitcoin to your Phantom wallet. Now, you can't swap Bitcoin for Solana and Phantom, but you do have a Bitcoin wallet here. All right. So if you were doing, if you had Coinbase, for instance, because they're notoriously slow, uh, then you might want to send your Bitcoin over here to your Phantom wallet in Bitcoin. You just can't swap Bitcoin for Solana inside of Phantom. Okay. Same thing if it was like Ethereum or what have you. Okay. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this address here, going to copy it. I'm going back to my wallet where I've got the day. And I know if you're brand new, this might be a few moving parts. Yeah, it's a couple of moving parts. You can always stop and rewind. Stop and rewind. Okay. Once you get it, you've got it. You'll be able to do exchanges and that won't even be a problem. Okay. All right. So now what I'm going to do here, I've got my day. All right. And I'm now going to send my day to this wallet address here. So I'm going to paste the day. So yeah, paste the receive address on their end. Okay. And how much am I doing? How much am I doing? Right here. 129.30. 129.30. There we go. All right. And then we're going to click continue. All right. And it's going to tell me that there's a little network fee, not much. So I need to have, if I'm doing this because I happen to have this day on the Binance Smart Chain, I need to have a little bit of Binance um, to take care of these fees, which I had enough. I think I had like $15 worth of Binance, and you see, or BNB, and you see it's going to cost me a penny. All right, not bad at all to move that money. And I'm going to click on confirm. Now we're going to pay attention to what time it is after I click on confirm. Okay, so that was submitted. So let's see, 6:31 is when I sent it. I'll come back on screen once the funds have been received and have been transacted. You know, they've done the swap. Okay, so we'll be back in just a little bit. I'm not sure what time it was. We can back it up. I think it was like 6:30 or 6:31, and you can see that it's already confirming, and it's in the process of exchanging. Again, I'm a fan of ChangeNow.io because of how quickly they do the swap. If I was doing this on Simple Swap, it might take 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Okay. When I do this with ChangeNow.io, in most cases, I've got my assets swapped to where I want it, to the asset that I want, and where I want it to be in about 10 minutes or so. So let's say it was 6:30. I don't remember if it was 6:30 or 6:31. As I'm having this conversation with you, it is now 6:32, and you can see that they are sending it to me. Now, I'm going to bring up my Phantom wallet. It's already there. Okay. It's already there. All right. So it took less than 3 minutes um, to get my SoLana. If you remember, I was going to go and I was going to show you. Remember, I think I had 93 cents there. Now I've got, almost 125 bucks. There we go. All right. So now it says it's finished, but it was actually in my wallet before it said it was finished. Now be mindful that while I sent in 129.30 worth of day, there's some fees involved there. Okay. And so I've got 124. I think I had 93 cents. Let's say I had $1. All right. So let's say that the net amount was about $123 coming over into my Phantom wallet in the form of SoLana. Okay. Uh, Now, SoLana is not tied to the US dollar. So Solana is going to go up in price. It's going to go down in price. As a matter of fact, real quickly, let's go to coinmarketcap.com. Give me a moment. All right. So I'm at coinmarketcap.com. Solana is one of the biggest assets in CoinMarketCap, right around that $100 billion mark. Okay. And you can see that it's actually down over the last 24 hours, a little about 3%. That happens. Okay. It's going to be up. It's going to be down. It's going to be down. It's going to be up, so on and so forth. All right. So as prices are changing in my wallet, you'll see prices will change from 124.28. And let's see when it changes. It'll either go up or it'll go down. But that's just, there we go, 124, 127. Okay. All right. So now you know how to swap. You can do it in Exodus if you already have assets in Exodus. Okay. I've shown you ChangeNow.io, my favorite place to swap when I'm not dealing with assets that can be swapped internally. So, for instance, if I was dealing with a Solana based asset, I could swap that internally in my Phantom wallet. Okay. But Day is not a Solana asset. All right. So, well, the Day that I had was on the Binance Smart chain. So that's why I use ChangeNow.io. I could have used SimpleSwap.io. It would have been a little less in terms of fees, but it likely still would be in the process of swapping because they're slower in most cases than ChangeNow.io. Okay, in my next module, what I'm going to show you is that now that we have swapped and we have some SoLana, how we're going to be able to swap SoLana for Sosana. Okay, we'll do that in the next module. We love each and every one of you. Let's transform this world together, starting with yours.